Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Buffalo, New York for Buffalo Short Track Championships and Heartland Racing Series #1 on the season. I'm Gordon Cepuran here with SpeediCast. We already went through the morning session. We had some great racing. Now we're going to get into the afternoon session. So we try to get through the second distances on the day so far. Should be getting ready to roll here within the next minute or so. Just waiting for all the volunteers to get back to the ice. We should be ready to go. All right, everybody, looks like we're finally ready to get started. We're starting off with the Heartland men 1,000-meter heats. We've got Chi-Wan Zhang, Alex Glutovsky, Matthew Krovella, Matan Gordensky, and George Wheelock here in this first heat, taking the top finisher and the next four fastest to move on into the A final. I suspect in the thousands they're going to start off a little slow, and they'll build the tempo throughout. Starting to see the action really pick up with about 2 to 4 laps to go. Oh, it's George Wheelock leading the way out in front. Sitting in that second place spot right now is Zhang. In third, Glutovsky. Not a very fast tempo yet, but you can see it starting to build now, as they now have 6 to go. And moving up on the inside was Zhang. See if Wheelock responds. Glutovsky getting around up in that second place spot, trying to pull away from the pack again. The top finisher, the only guaranteed spot to move on. So Glutovsky does not want Zhang to get out of reach.
184 is Glutovsky in second place.
Some movement in the back of the pack. We're going to see if Glutovsky, though, can make the junction with Zhang before they get down to a lap to go. Otherwise, Zhang positioning himself very well. He's got 1 lap to go, and he's out in front by himself. Glutovsky will not catch him, but needs to get in with a quick time if he wants to try to move on into the A final. So it's Zhang, Glutovsky coming up to the finish. It's going to be Grodensky, closely followed by Krovella, and then finally by George Wheelock. In the second heat, we have Andrew Kim, Richard Alec Anglin, Clayton D. Clement, Henry Middlebrook, Raphael Howe, and Sean Kim. In the first place finisher and the next fastest 4 will move on into the A final. And in that first heat, it was not an all-out sprint. So the second group could qualify as many as 5 if they take it out fast enough. Kind of the advantage of going in that second group when you're trying to advance on and there are spots based on time. You get a general idea of where you need to be. And it's a much faster start out of the second heat, as jumping into the lead right away is Richard Alec Anglin. Anglin leading the way, followed closely by Henry Middlebrook. And Middlebrook goes down after the apex into the pads. Able to get up, but he knew. And another fall in the far side on the exit. Looks to be Andrew Kim in second. That might be, and that is Sean Kim in third, the 2 skaters out of Potomac. So right now, Richard Anglin leading the way with the 2 Kims following in close behind. And coming up, trying to make the junction, is Clayton D. Clement. He wants to finish in a quick time, try to move on. 4 laps to go for the leaders. And there goes the move on the inside as both Kims get inside on Anglin. It's Andrew Kim followed by Sean Kim. A slip by Andrew Kim, able to keep his footing. The exit to that near side corner has been a little iffy all morning. The 2 Kims, 1 and 2. 1 lap to go. Andrew Kim going to have to hold off Sean Kim to guarantee that qualifying spot, but this was a faster start. So would believe we would see at least 3, if not 4, qualify out of this group, as it's Andrew Kim, Sean Kim, Richard Anglin, I believe it was Howell, and now here comes Middlebrook. Tough break for Henry Middlebrook, falling in the exit of that near side corner. Was in a good position, but hit a soft patch of ice.
302A, Heartland Open Women, 1,000 meter, heat 1 of 2.
Now moving on to the Heartland Ladies 1,000 meter heat. We've got Haley Choi, Renee Miller, Catherine Vandegrift, Sharon Lokesh, and Maura Zimmer. Again, taking the top finisher and the next 4 fastest to move on out of 2 heats. And it looks like we have to take a ice repair real quick here at the end of the opening straightaway. Well, while we have a little bit of time, joining us in the booth for the first time in our 2 years of broadcasting, we have Carl Cepuran. Welcome, Carl.
Thanks, Gordon. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, just waiting for the ice to be taken care of, and they'll call them back. It looks like we're just about ready to get going here with the Heartland Ladies 1,000 meter heats.
Looks like we've had some really competitive racing so far through round 1.
Some very competitive racing, even especially out of some of the younger groups. The older classifications definitely were doing well as well, but you like to see that younger age group get some quality racing experience as well.
You know, definitely, it's really good to see. You know, we're always looking who's going to fill those next spots at the Olympic level and the junior world team level, and also you just like to see more and more people enjoying the sport itself. It's a great sport, whether you're going to skate internationally or not. So it's more exciting the more people you have.
Yeah, and even though that probably most of the top 1% won't even make it into the international level, but if you can boost yourself at the national level and at the regional level, obviously the program across the country is going to do better as a whole, and that's really what part of this racing series is all about, is to try to build the program from the grassroots level. As we see here, we do have a couple specialized clubs like Potomac and Dominion, who you might say are more of a training program as opposed to a speed skating club. But then you also have the clubs from the East Coast as well that bring some quality skaters into it as well.
Well, clubs go through cycles, and I think you know, the clubs form the base of the pyramid, and the bigger the base, the higher the pyramid you could build. And at the club level, you know, you get a surge of people in, and they all inspire and help one another to grow and develop faster and higher. So it definitely helps to have more people
I think we may have just skipped the Heartland ladies group here. This looks like this is the junior AB men's, as that's Nathaniel Casson. Yeah, so we did skip over the Heartland ladies. There must have been a complication. So we've got Nathaniel Casson, Hira Hansen, Clyde Gill, Isaac Turkstra, and Gavin Hall here. Leading the way is Casson. In second, Hansen, followed by Turkstra. Still taking the top finisher and the next 4 fastest to move on into the A final out of these 2 heats. We'll have to see what happened in the Heartland ladies. And down goes Turkstra. Still Casson leading the way. Hansen following close behind.
Yeah, they must have had a clerical error in the preparation of the heat, so they looked like they recalled everybody, and they'll work on getting that straightened out.
Casson and Hansen coming around. Have to be careful while lapping past Gavin Hall. Casson trying to push the tempo. Hansen able to keep the gap close, but Casson finally able to get a little bit of a crack going on Hansen. There's the bell lap. It looks like Casson's finally able to pull away from Hansen. As that what happens in the longer distances, especially in short track. So it's going to be Casson Hansen as your 1-2. In the third spot was Clyde Gill. And I was waiting for Hall and Turkstra. Turkstra taking that hard fall on the exit of the far corner. Now the second heat for the junior AB men, we've got Joseph Hatcham, Christian Ladegard, Kenneth Lim, and Jacob Stainbrook.
As you noted, Gordon, this distance is the 1,000. This age category skated the 777, a slightly shorter distance in their first round of racing. So the 1,000, the longer the distance is, it can be more strategic, and you'll see some skaters taking it out slower. Others will try to set a fast tempo at the beginning. It all depends on their strengths and weaknesses and how they feel they stack up against the rest of the skaters in their heat.
Now, before you got up here, Carl, I was talking to the people. I was telling them, it's kind of a benefit to be in the second heat when it comes to having so many spots selected on your time and not on your place. So theoretically, you could qualify everybody out of this second heat if it's a fast heat.
Yes, for sure. It does help to know what you have to shoot for. And the format of this meet, the Heartland Series and the Buffalo Short Track Championships, is deliberately designed like that to put a premium on time. It encourages faster, more competitive racing and makes things more interesting. It's one thing to win a tactical race, and it is important to be able to skate tactically, but it's a whole other ballgame to be able to do that at speed and to keep up with the rest of the world. We need to be able to have good tactics, but also be able to do them at a higher tempo. And so this format is designed to encourage more of that at the younger levels.
So we've got Ladegard leading the way, Hatcham in second. Close behind is Kenneth Lim, and then off the back is Jacob Stainbrook. I believe it's 4 laps to go as we've got our leading group of 3. There goes the move on the inside from Hatcham, able to get around Ladegard. Again, only the top spot guaranteed to qualify. And this is a slower heat just by the feel of it than the first heat.
Yeah, hopefully the coaches of the skaters in second, third, and fourth are aware of the time set by the first heat, and they're letting their skaters know that they have to pick up the pace here and they can still qualify even though they're not in the number 1 spot.
1 lap to go. Hatcham still leading the way. Trying to get around him is Ladegard. He's taking the wide line in the entry into the final corner. Ladegard, and looked like he tried to go around, but then got the door slammed shut by Joseph Hatcham. So it was Hatcham, Ladegard, Lim, and Stainbrook finishing up now, finishing in 4th.
Yeah, that was a nice attempt there on the final corner. He tried to set it up wide to come in tight on the exit of that final turn, but Hatcham was anticipating that and made a nice defensive move to hold off that last pass attempt. Some good racing there.
Up next, we've got the Junior B Women 1,000-meter heat. All 3 of these skaters will advance through to the final, but trying to promote more racing, more practice at it at this higher level. We've got Ava Fradlin-Ryan, Samantha Leventis, and Sarah Crovella. I'd say one of the lessons some of these skaters learn is that you can't leave it to the last corner anymore.
No, the higher the level of the competition, the better they're going to be at those defensive moves. So you want to give yourself a couple of attempts, if possible, and to make your move.
Oh, hang on. We're changing. So we're inserting the Heartland ladies in here now. So this is going to be the Heartland ladies 1,000-meter first heat of 2. We've got Haley Choi, Renee Miller, Catherine Vandegrift, Sharon Lokesh, and Maura Zimmer. Taking the lead off the start is Renee Miller. She's going to try to push the tempo early as, again, it is the top finisher and the next 4 fastest. And it seems the only one able to go with Miller is Haley Choi. I think Choi is just going to sit on her until about 3 laps to go.
That's a smart strategy by Miller. Even if Choi is able to pass her eventually, she's going to have some time advantage here over the rest of the field in her heat and also in the second heat. So she's out there trying to assure herself a place in the A final one way or another.
It definitely seems like a game plan move, not just something off the cuff from the get-go.
Yeah, no, very, very smart strategy here.
And Choi, obviously a very powerful skater, able to confidently just sit there and let Miller do the work. This is kind of like a breakaway getting started in a cycling race, and Choi just knows she can sit there and just be ready to pounce. So it's still Miller and Choi. Sitting right now in the 3rd spot is Catherine Vandegrift. And Haley Choi able to complete the pass, able to get around Renee Miller. Miller still got a bit of work to do to get to the finish line with a quick enough time to move on to the A final.
Miller definitely had her sights set on being one of at least the 4 fastest to get into that A final, and she set herself up really, really nicely so far. Hopefully she can finish it off strong.
Haley Choi coming around the last corner up to the finish. She'll qualify safely. And Renee Miller trying to give herself the best chance to move on into that A final. We'll have to see if it pays off. Finishing in 3rd was Catherine Vandegrift. And in 4th, Sharon Lokesh. Now for the second heat of the Heartland Women 1,000-meter, we've got Stephanie Velez, Una Wilhoit, Shreya Arun, Claire Liu, Carly Elliott, and Cece Long. I believe Shreya Arun got disqualified in her last final. So I think she's going to be looking to get into another A final.
Yeah, with 4 events in a 2-day competition like this, there is a lot of racing left. And if you do happen to fall or get penalized, you need to keep your head on straight and just get back to work because, again, in short track, anything can happen to the rest of the field. And, you know, if you stay focused and put your mind to it, you could be right back in it.
And this group not taking it out fast off the start. That's good for Renee Miller, who went out hard at the beginning of the last heat. Let's see, leading the way, it's going to be Stephanie Velez. In second is Una Wilhoit. In third right now is Claire Liu and Shreya Arun in that fourth place spot, followed by Cece Long and Carly Elliott.
Yeah, if they all decide to hammer here, the first 5 in this heat could potentially go to that A final. But they're going to have to pick it up because Miller set a really fast pace in the first heat. And they're not going to be able to just sit back and count on getting into the A final.
Move coming up on the inside as Wilhoit goes around. Looks like another move coming. And on the inside, there goes Stephanie Velez. Shreya Arun now taking the wide line, looking to try to go around the outside in the corner. Skating wide again through the straightaway, going from the third place spot side by side with second, trying to get all the way around into the front, and a good move by Shreya Arun as she gets off the front of the group.
That was a beautiful outside pass. She really had to commit to that move to make it work, and she did just that.
So Shreya Arun leading the way. I believe it's still Stephanie Velez in second. 1 lap to go. Right now sitting in third is Una Wilhoit, and they're going to have to hurry for the line if they want to have a chance to move on to that A final. And finishing in fourth, that was Claire Liu. Carly Elliott finishing in fifth, and Cece Long in sixth. Next up, I believe we'll be going back to the Junior B ladies, 1,000 meter.
It was a nice representation of clubs in that last race. In fact, in the whole meet, you had 6 skaters coming from 6 different programs there, which is really good to see that many programs are producing skaters who can compete in the upper level division here of the Heartland series.
So in this Junior B ladies 1,000 meter heat, we've got Ava Fradlin Ryan, Samantha Leventis, and Sarah Crovella all advanced through into the A final, but getting them 2 shots at the distance to get as much race practice in as possible.
Well, and also, in addition to the practice, Gordon, the 1,000 meter time is often used as a qualifier to get into it is used as a qualifier to get into the Heartland series. The women need a 158 or better, and the men need a 148 or better. And it's also a qualifier to get into junior short track championships as well as the Amp Cup series too. So these skaters will be also racing for time to get into other competitions as well as just to advance in this particular distance at this competition.
Especially now that we're down into the Junior B level, who are possibly trying to qualify to potentially have a chance to make the Junior World Team.
Yep, the Junior Short Track Championships will be in Green Bay, Wisconsin, later this year in the middle of January 21st, 22nd.
So we've got Fradlin Ryan leading the way. In second is Samantha Leventis and Sarah Crovella taking up the third spot. Sounds like 4 laps to go. Not too much drama between Fradlin Ryan and Leventis just yet. If Leventis can hang on for another 2 laps to Fradlin Ryan, it could try to make a move in that last lap. Two laps to go. Fradlin Ryan starting to pull away from Leventis. Looks like Leventis had a little bit of a stumble, able to catch herself, but scrubbed off a lot of speed with that little stumble as they come around the final corner up to the finish. As it was still Ava Fradlin-Ryan, Samantha Leventis, Sarah Crovella in that order. And now we go to the Junior C men 1,000 meters. Again, running 2 heats. We've got Seungmin Kwan, Gannon Graff, Noah Troutt, Sean Lippa, Alessandro Topa, and Ryan Shane.
305A, Junior C men, 1,000 meter, heat 1 of 2. 99, Seungmin Kwan, 69.
Again, a real nice representation of clubs here. Good variety, which is really good to see. We got 2 skaters here from Potomac, and then the other 4 are from 4 different programs. Got Lakewood, Ohio represented. Buffalo, United Capital Blades from Maryland.
I believe that one with the green sleeves is Garden State.
Yep.
Again, taking the top finisher in the next fastest 4. Jumping out to the early lead is Seungmin Kwan.
Actually, the skater in green is from Cleveland Heights, and they look very, very similar to the Garden State skin suits.
I believe that is Gannon Graff in second position right now. In third is Noah Troutt. And not the fastest tempo out of the Junior C men, but not a slow tempo to say the least.
They're really mixing it up there in the second pack. The last 3 positions 4 through 6. The fight is on, and there's really some good blocking and passing taking place here.
Pass on the inside was completed by Troutt. Got up in the second position. Gannon Graff almost able to pass him back on the inside. And right now, free to fly is Seungmin Kwan. Looks like he'll be able to qualify safely. And right now, Troutt trying to pull away from Gannon Graff, not wanting to leave any meat on the bone, but Graff hanging on and actually pulling some distance back on Troutt.
Yeah, 2 little sub-battles here going on deeper into the race. Again, on all 4 of these spots, 2nd through 5th, are in play with the format picking the next fastest 4 times after the first place finisher.
Troutt still trying to hold off Graff. Seungmin Kwan coming up to the finish line. But right now we're going to try to go through that last corner. Troutt trying to hold on. Graff trying to go inside, then moves outside. But looks like Troutt with that block was able to.
Wow. We'll let the judges call those. Those were 2 very, very close battles for 2nd and then for 4th.
It looked even closer for 4th between Lippa and Topa.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go on to the second heat for the Junior Cs. We've got Mark Gonzalez, Julian Kyle McCurrig, Tyler McGillen, Ryan Hack, Ethan Turkstra, and Owen Byrne. We have quite a few Canadian clubs here as well this weekend.
Yeah, that's another plus. It's great to skate against some fresh faces. There's nothing like driving for 10 hours and then skating in your heat against the same 4 guys you skated at practice all the time. You kind of get wise to one another's moves, and so you don't learn as much. But when you start skating against people you don't skate with regularly, it really teaches you how to figure things out fast and develop a good strategy for each race.
And this group getting off to a quick start before settling in after the first corner. That's Mark Gonzalez leading the way. In second is Ryan Hack. In third, looked like Kyle McCurrig.
129 McGillen in third place.
And that's McGillen sitting in fourth. So we got our leading pack of 4 tightly bound together.
Gonzalez has his signature orange fluorescent tips on his gloves, makes him easy to pick out of a crowd. Those tips are made out of carbon fiber material. They're very lightweight and very strong. And the skaters put them on their gloves so that when their hand touches the ice repeatedly, it doesn't wear the glove out. Also, it cuts down on the resistance, too, that they might experience from putting the hand out on the ice.
It looks like we got some movement going up on the inside. Went Ryan Hack, able to get around Gonzalez. Now I think we're going to start to see pandemonium unfold. And here coming around the outside is Julian Kyle McKeurig. Could not get the pass to go through, but he's not going to give up on trying to get around Gonzalez. Now they're starting to lap the back of the pack as it's still Ryan Hack leading the way. Gonzalez is not letting him get away. They drop off McGillen. Still hanging on is Julian Kyle McKeurig. And right now, first is still up for grabs with 1 lap to go. Here they come into the final corner as they go 2 wide. It's a dig for the line, and it looked to be Hack, and I think McKeurig just barely got by Gonzalez for the line, taking the wide line out of the corner.
That was really close. I'm not going to wager a guess. Gonzalez and McKeurig both were right there, and really impressed. And I've gotten to know both skaters through camps, through the ASC program that they've attended, and they're both outstanding hard workers and very coachable. And I wish they both make it on time. It'd be great to see them in the final. They're really good athletes.
Now go on to the Junior C Ladies 1,000-meter heats. Got 2 heats taking the top, finishing next fastest 4. We've got Catherine Liu, Sarah Salvucci, Emily Wood, Isabel Crovella, and Mina Rose.
Again, 2 heats here, taking the winner of each heat, plus the next 4 fastest times to go to the A final.
We'll have to see how this first heat takes out the early laps. It looks like a quick start, and Catherine Liu is going to try to just break away from the pack. They're going to try to force a chase from behind. Catherine Liu not looking back, but it looks like nobody really wants to chase her down as they're all looking at each other. As Sarah Salvucci comes off the front, coming inside was Isabel Crovella. And they really don't have time to dawdle here because they're not even close to having a guaranteed spot right now.
Yeah, this isn't the time to be polite, unless, they're looking for somebody else to lead, which is also not the time for that right now. Somebody needs to take charge.
And it looks like one skater went down the exit of the corner, able to get back up all right. I believe it was Mina Rose that went down. Catherine Liu, comfortable half-lap lead. In second is Isabel Crovella. In third is Sarah Salvucci. And then in fourth, Emily Wood.
54 Crovella in second place, 169 Salvucci in third place.
And Catherine Liu, early tactic pays off to go hard and jump off the pack. Just settling into a tempo. One lap to go for the leader. Got over a half-lap lead on the rest of the field. In second is Isabel Crovella. In third, Sarah Salvucci. In fourth, Emily Wood. And in fifth, Mina Rose, who took that spill as they come up to the finish. So we battle for third, but it's going to be Salvucci who holds off Wood for that third-place spot. And now just waiting on Mina Rose to finish up. Should be her last lap right here.
So it'll be interesting now to see if the next heat comes out. and goes after that time, trying to be one of the fourth fastest. 2 minutes, 0.7 seconds is the unofficial time of the second place skater in that first heat. And again, hopefully their coaches who are over opposite the finish line in the coaches box are doing the math, and they're going to let their skaters know exactly what target time they have to make to be one of those fourth next fastest skaters to qualify to the A final.
In the second heat, we've got Haley Murray, Kayla Gonzalez, Cuban O, and Penelope Romanelli. Potentially all four could qualify out of this heat.
Yep, that's one of the great things about this format. You're not just racing the people in your heat, you're racing the whole field, essentially. So, when you have fewer people, say, in a competition, it really opens up the competition and makes it seem like there's more people there, because you can take advantage of that qualification of the four fastest.
Haley Murray leading the way, followed by Kayla Gonzalez. Sitting in third right now is Cuban O. I think O's just going to sit on Murray and Gonzalez and try to pip them in the last 3 laps.
So right now they're off to a pace that's about a second a lap faster than the first heat. If they can sustain this lead group of 3 should be able to be among the 4 fastest.
Four laps to go. Still no change in the order, but I don't think it'll stay that way for too long. We know Cuban O is going to make a move here at some point.
Really nice steady pace so far. Lap times between 12:1 and 12:4. They really settled into a nice rhythm here.
And here goes Cuban O with the wide pass around the outside. Can't get it through before the corner. Has to take a wide line again on the far side. Murray keeping a tempo that's keeping O from getting that outside pass. 1 lap to go. O going on the inside. Able just to slot in past Murray. Murray trying to hold off Gonzalez. As they come up to the finish, it's going to be O, Murray, Gonzalez. I like that move by O to take that pass with 2 corners to go as opposed to waiting till the last one.
Yep, I also like the way she changed it up. She tried to pull an outside pass, and that was defended. So she mixed it up. She sometimes it's good to be determined and stay with your original pass and commit to it. But if you sense that the skater ahead of you is expecting that and is defending well against it, it's a good strategy to be flexible and change and try something else.
Now we're at the Master Men and Women combined 1,000 meter. We've got Tim Van Fleet, Henry Withers, Joseph Balbo, Nicole Zayats, and Jen Kola. Now obviously, in speed skating, you can either pass on the outside or the inside. You can't really go under and you can't go over the top. So how hard is it to if you're trying to defend that outside to then shift over if they decide to change into an inside pass move?
How hard is it to defend?
If you're having to defend, the outside, or you're having to defend the inside, how hard is it to then switch over if they try to change up their pass move, as Cuban O did there, and they weren't able to shut her down on the inside pass?
Yeah, no, it's definitely tougher to defend against attacks that are coming from alternating directions. You've got to really be very alert, and you can't be stuck in your track. You've got to know what's going on behind you, and you've got to be flexible enough to change what you're doing.
Tim Van Fleet leading the way. In second is Joseph Balbo. In third, Nicole Zayats. In fourth, Henry Withers. And in fifth, Jen Kola. And Tim Van Fleet getting a nice flyer off the front. Everyone will move on into the A final out of this Masters group. Still Balbo, Zayats, Withers in the 2 through 4 spots. Looks like Zayats and Withers are comfortable just sitting on Balbo, letting him do the pacemaking through the early part of the race.
Yep. And, that's something that Joe Balbo is a very experienced racer. He's been speed skating for years, and many of those as a master. And Joe spent his time sitting on people getting a good draft, too. So it's good to see others, Joe repaying the favor to others paying it forward here.
I get the distinct sense that he sat on you for a couple of years.
No, he was always much faster.
And it looks like Withers trying to make a move around the outside on Zayats. Got 1 lap to go for Tim Van Fleet, almost lapping the whole field. I don't think he'll quite get there. Withers able to get around Zayats, now trying to get Balbo. We've got 1 lap to go as Van Fleet crosses the line in first and skates safely into the inside circle. Zayats looking to get around Withers. It looks like Balbo might just be able to hold off Withers as they dig for the line, but it still looks like Balbo, Withers, Zayats. Now just waiting for Jen Cole to come up to the finish.
That was a good, hard-nosed, gutsy skate by Balbo. It's not easy. Well, he didn't win the heat, but he basically won the battle for second, and that battle went on for a long time with Van Fleet skating off the front early. And it's not easy to lead that many laps and defend. It takes a lot of energy to defend from the front for a long time. And Joe really hung on. It was particularly impressive because, like you said, Gordon, it's a heat, and they're all going to the A final anyway. So Joe really, showed some grit and skated for pride in that one and held off the field quite nicely.
Now we move on to the Junior D men. We're doing the 500 meter. We've got 5 heats. Taking the top finisher. We're taking a resurface break, but then we'll come back and do the 500 meters. We'll be back in about 10-15 minutes. Don't you go anywhere, as we've got some sprints to get through after this, and I think they're going to be quite exciting from what we saw this morning. Welcome back, folks. We're going to get into the Junior D boys 500-meter heats. We've got 5 heats to run. Should be a good set.
135, Cameron Mason.
In this first heat, we've got Justin Liu, Alexander Lim, Rory O'Brien, Jack Vandenberg, and Cameron Mason. And a false start.
Again, Gordon, I just want to add that I'm really impressed by the number of clubs represented here and the variety and mix of skaters we're seeing in each heat. It's a good, competitive, diverse field, which is going to make for some good racing experience for all these athletes.
No, you're absolutely right. It definitely helps when you're no longer doing scout races in practice and you're racing against people you don't necessarily know what type of moves they bring. Justin Liu jumping off the front in the early lead. In second is Alexander Lim. Again, only the top spot goes on into the A final. Everybody else trying to battle out for time to try to get into that B final. Sitting right now in third is Rory O'Brien. In fourth, Cameron Mason. In fifth, Alexander Lim.
So this isn't the shortest distance for this group, but it is shorter than their first distance. And the 500 is verging on a sprint for these guys, and you could see that they're all going from the gun here. There's no sitting back and debating, a strategy.
So we got Justin Liu at the finish. He crosses in that top spot. Alexander Lim finishing in second, hoping to move into that B final. Finishing third, Rory O'Brien. In fourth, we have Cameron Mason, and in fifth, Jack Vandenberg. In heat number 2, we have Christian Kim, Pasquale Morales, Gabriel Hasselback, Jack Hausen, and Ishan Dixit.
Pascal Morales, 81, Gabriel Hasselback, 84, Jack Hausen, and 60, Ishan Dixit.
For the folks watching here, the start line, it's not your imagination. You're not seeing things. The start line is moving with each race, and that's because they're moving the track. There's 5 different sets of dots, and in order to give the skaters a fresh, good track, every distance, every race skated, they will move the track. To give the other track, they just use a chance to kind of repair itself. So the start line moves with each time the track moves.
Only in certain distances, though, because when they're on this side, when it's the start-finish line, it does not move.
Right. 500 and 1500, it will move because there's a half lap involved, and the start is on the opposite side of the finish.
It's Christian Kim leading the way out to a comfortable lead. Sitting in second right now is Morales. In third, Gabriel Hasselback. In fourth, Jack Hausen. In fifth, it's Dixit. And Kim going around Dixit. He's coming up to the finish. And here comes Morales. He's hoping to advance into the B final on time, but we'll just have to wait and see if any of the other heats go faster. Now on to the third heat. You've got Jin Kai Yen, Matthew Freitag, Charlie Putnam, Justin Liu, and Andrew Lenkong.
Potomac skaters are looking real good. The winner of that last heat was from Potomac, and they are being coached by Simon Cho. Simon Cho is a former top-level U.S. speed skating skater who just took over the Potomac coaching head duties last year. Had a really great year. They finished as a club in the #1 position at Short Track Nationals for the club championship. And it looks like they're aiming to defend their title this year, looking strong here early in the season.
Looks like a clean start as they get into the corner. It's going to be Jing Kai-yen getting out the front. Trying to chase him down is Matthew Freitag. Charlie Putnam in third. It's going to be a tough task for Freitag to try to chase down Jing Kai.
Well, fortunately for him, he's racing those other skaters in the other heat to be one of the top fastest, and hopefully we'll move on from there based on time, if not place.
Jing Kai coming around his final corner. He's in comfortably with a qualifying spot in the A final. Matthew Freitag trying to get that B final. Finishes quickly. We'll have to see where he stacks up against the rest of the field, but giving himself a good shot at it. Finishing third will look like to be Andrew Lenkong, with Charlie Putnam in fourth and Justin Liu in fifth. Next in heat #4, we've got Carl Titelli, Aaron Liu, Alex Wood, Clive Wright, and Mitchell Wilson.
309D, Junior D, boys 500 meter, heat 405. 205, Carl Titelli. 116, Aaron Liu. 241, Alex Wood. 243, Clive Wright. 228, Mitchell Wilson.
One of the cool things that a sport like speed skating provides that some scholastic sports don't, with this variety of skaters coming from all over the country to this meet, you start to make friends with kids all over the country, and that ends up being a real special part of this sport, because these kids will go on and hopefully compete for a number of years and develop these friendships, which often develop into lifelong friendships.
Carl Titelli leading the way. He's got Aaron Liu on his heels as they've got a gap on the rest of the field. Sitting right now in third is Alex Wood. In fourth is Clive Wright. Mitchell Wilson in fifth. Carl Titelli trying to outrun Liu. Liu not letting him get away easily. They've got one lap to go. Titelli just need to hold off Liu for one more lap. And Titelli having to take the wide line to get her to lap the skater at the back of the pack, but able to make a tight line in on the final corner, able just to barely cut off Liu. Great recovery by Titelli after the bad decision to go outside.
Yep, that was a great response. Well, he was looking for the fastest line and thought, the wide track's the faster track. I'm going to carry my speed out of the corner and get around the skater as easily as possible. And that was a really good move by the second-place skater. But not to be deterred, Carl reacted right away. And the best time often to pass is right after you've been passed, because the other skater is either gloating over their move or they're a little bit off balance and not settled, and they're vulnerable. So Carl did that and did a nice job reclaiming first in a spot in the A final.
Now for heat #5, we've got Nicholas Gutowski, Xavier Lawrence, Chirag Chandnani, Sammy Hart-Gorman, and Jimmy Kang. And they're off, and through the first corner, leading the way is Xavier Lawrence. In second, Nicholas Gutowski. And this is going to be a tough division this weekend with how many skaters they have, it's going to be hard to make those A finals. Xavier Lawrence, though, trying to show what he can do and get out in front early.
Well, that's important because in this division at this distance, there is no fastest next going to the A final. There's 5 heats, and the winner of each will go on to the A final, and from there, the rest of the heats will be filled by time. But
one lap to go. Skutowski closed the gap to Lawrence. Lawrence going to have to hold him off to the final corner. Looks like Skutowski's going to try to go for an inside move. It's a dig for the line, and Lawrence able to just edge out Skutowski for the line. And that'll do it for the Junior D boys. As now we go on to the Junior D girls.
310A, Junior D girls 500 meter.
And just like the Junior D boys, they will be skating a 500, which is shorter than their first distance earlier today. And just like with the boys, you'll see them go all out and lay it all on the line here. This is their second shortest distance, and it's virtually a sprint.
We got Charisse Gratton, Carolyn Anderson, Louisiana Stahl, and Sarah Murray in this heat. All will advance through into the final. But a good chance to try to put up perhaps a new personal best in the 500 meter. Jumping at the early lead, it's Charisse Gratton. Carolyn Anderson in second. In third is Sarah Murray. In fourth is Louisiana Stahl. 3 laps to go as Gratton's trying to get away from Anderson as fast as possible. Anderson looks to be nailing down the gap just a little bit, but Gratton's not going to give up easily. Still Gratton with 1 to go.
She's not showing any signs of letting up, which is exactly what you have to do. There's no room to coast or cruise in the 500 if you want to set a personal best time.
Now we move on to the Junior E boys. They're racing 333s. Got 4 heats. Top finisher and the next fastest will move on to the A final. The rest will be seeded throughout the other finals based on time. We've got Julius Kazanecki, Jeffrey Liu, Benjamin Horn, Aiden Taylor, and Lucas Koo.
And again, like the Junior D group before them, they are dropping down a distance. This 3-lapper will be a lap and a half shorter than the first distance they skated earlier today.
Still fully expect them to sprint this out completely, though.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a shorter distance, so they're going to be going from the gun. It's not their shortest, but it's short enough, and these guys are all very competitive. It's a very large and well-balanced group.
Jumping out in front is Kazanecki in second. It looked to be Aiden Taylor, perhaps? It is Aiden Taylor as they put a gap on the rest of the field. Aiden Taylor trying to mix it up with Kazanecki for the leading spot. 1 lap to go, and Taylor trying to go for the move on the inside. Cannot get around Kazanecki. Needs to regroup here for the final corner. He wants to try to guarantee that qualifying spot. Could have a quick time here, though, as well. As a dig for the line. And needing to be careful as Kazanecki You do not want to get called for impeding there up to the finish.
Looked like he had position. I don't think there's any danger of impeding on that call. Just a really hard-fought battle. And actually, he battled a couple of times there in that short race to hold off the challenger trying to pass on the inside. Sometimes a good block is just a matter of willpower and who wants it worse.
In this second Junior EU heat, we've got Zubin Kumar, Ethan Lamb, David Chun, Christopher Monahan, and Jeremy Sapola. And they're often taking the inside line is Zubin Kumar, and down went Ethan Lamb hard on the exit of that corner. Zubin Kumar comfortably out in front. In second right now is David Chun. In third, I believe that was Christopher Monahan. 1 lap to go. Oh, sorry, that's Jeremy Sapola in third, with Kumar at the finish.
I was impressed by how fast Lamb got up, considering he went down pretty hard and had to be stunned. Showed a lot of grit.
Well, I have to say, these younger skaters seem to be able to pop back up off the ice a lot more than when the Masters fall. A lot more quickly as well.
Well, it definitely is an advantage being a little bit shorter. You're lower to the ice, and you're a few pounds lighter, so you don't hit with quite the same impact. Makes it just a little easier.
Doing some ice repair in that corner. Well, we've got that in this third heat. We've got Peter Grosclose, Ivan Roldan-Levchenko, Anakin Morelli, Julian Kim, and Owen Rogers.
And they're going to let them take a little cruise around the middle here while they complete the ice repair. The skaters don't get cold or tighten up too much standing at the start line waiting. It also is a nice mental release, too. When you're standing there in the same place with nothing else to think about but the start, can cause a little extra tension.
Now ready back on the line. And that'll be a false start on the Junior E's. See if Peter Grosclose can take advantage of having that inside spot to get to the first block. And they're off. And Grosclose able to get to that block first, followed by Levchenko. In third is Morelli. Grosclose going to try to lead this from end to end. But Levchenko not letting him get away that easily. They're going to come around and have 1 lap to go. Levchenko trying to nail down the gap, trying to maybe get in reach just enough for the final corner, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to get it. And Grosclose had a little stumble, able to keep his feet, and able to take the tight line to get around Owen Rogers, who was lapping at the back of the pack.
He did a nice job leading that race from wire to wire. That's not always an easy thing to do, even in a shorter distance. One of the best blocking tools, however, is speed, and he was able to keep his speed up, and it paid off for him.
Now we've got the fourth heat, which has Sean Shui, Hanson Peck, Daniel O'Brien, and Brennan Graff.
Junior E, boys 333 meter, heat 4-4.
You mentioned something important in that earlier race, Gordon, and that is the advantage the first position has on getting to the first block first and winning the start. It's a shorter distance, and if you can just get a step ahead of everybody else, it's very advantageous to have that first position to be able to win the start. And it happens once again.
Yeah, leading the way, it's Sean Shui. In second is Hanson Peck. And they're going to duel it out by the looks of it. Got 2 laps to go. Peck trying to find an angle. Shui trying to shut any potential moves off. 1 lap to go. Peck trying to line up on the inside. Gets blocked. Both skaters come down in the back of the pack. And down goes Peck. Shui able to keep his feet. I think Shui will probably advance through without having to worry about a penalty. It looked like Peck hit a soft patch of ice.
Well, it looked like he took a tight line through that corner trying to pass on the inside and happened to step on a block, which looked like it might have caused him to toe in, which led to that spectacular dive through the air. Hopefully he's okay. Showing a lot of grit and determination there.
All right, now we move on to the Junior E girls. They're also running 333s. We've got 3 heats, taking the top finisher in the next 2 fastest to the A final. We've got Grace Chun, Michelle Yee, Emma Lippa, Violet Nelson, and Morgan Tara.
Looks like the officials are checking the ice. And they've determined that it's not bad enough. They can let the next race go.
With Grace Chun jumping out to the early lead, Michelle Yee in second. Again, the top finisher in the next 2 fastest out of these 3 heats will move on. 2 laps to go. Michelle Yee doesn't want to leave anything to chance. She's trying to chase down Grace Chun. They come around to 1 lap to go. Michelle Yee right on the tail of Chun. Looks like she's going to try to set up a pass for the final corner. She's going to try to go on the inside on the exit and blocked off by Chun. Good block by Chun to keep Yee at bay. But Yee could advance through on time as there are more time spots to move up the A final in this age group.
Looks like she has a good chance. That was a pretty fast heat. And setting up that pass on the last corner, Yee just went in a little tight. And when you go in tight, it's awfully hard to hold your speed and come out on the inside passing with enough speed. She needed to set that up a little wider and then at the midpoint of the turn swing to the inside and carry that speed through. But not to take anything away from the block that Chung put down either. She did a nice job holding her line coming out of that corner.
Now we got heat number 2 with Selena Sue, Audrey Langkong, Cassie Clark, Sydney Wong, and Stella Summerfield. Actually, sorry, Stella's a non-start. And a false start charged the group. It looked like Cassie Clark may have stood up just 1/10 of a second too soon. And able to get away into the corner cleanly. It's Selena Sue leading the way. In second is Audrey Lenkong. In third, Cassie Clark. And in fourth, Sydney Wong, as the pack starts to spread out. Sue right now looking comfortable in that qualifying spot. One lap to go. Lenkong going to have to try to pick up the tempo just a little bit here if you want to try to move on based on time. As it's two at the finish, Lenkong, Clark. Actually, that was Wong, then Clark. In the third heat, we've got Salome Lokesh, Cindy Jang, Kira Lamb, and Zeta Gretzkowski.
123, Salome Lokesh. 85, Cindy Jang. 102, Kiera Lamb. And 71, Zeta Gretzkowski.
So, Gordon, going back to your mention of the advantage being in position one, it got to the point where the ISU determined at the upper level competitions that the fastest time in the heats and the semis would get seeded into the one position in the final. That way it gave the skaters some incentive to skate their fastest throughout the heats, but it also rewarded the skater instead of penalizing the skater who was the fastest going into the final by giving them that number one position.
As third junior E-girls heat underway, Salome Lokesh able to jump out in front. Cindy Jang in second. Down goes Kira Lamb. And there goes Cindy Jang around the outside of Lokesh, able to get into that qualifying spot. One lap to go. Lokesh with some work to do. Needs to get into the line quickly, as it doesn't look like she's going to be able to catch Cindy Jang. She's just got too much ground to make up going through the final corner. It's going to be Jang, Lokesh. Lokesh looks like she'll move through based on time.
That was a beautiful acceleration by Jang. She did not win the start, but she kept it close and basically won the second start, putting on a really strong acceleration in the straightaway and a beautiful outside pass.
All right, up next we've got the junior F boys. We've got the 222s. There'll be two-lap race, starting with Benjamin Sullivan, Kale DeVerde, Arya Chandnani, Joshua Tara, and Alan Wu.
203, Joshua Tara. 152, Alan Wu.
Taking the top finisher and the next three fastest out of two heats to move on to the A final.
203, 152, did not start, DNS.
So these junior F boys are 7 and 8 years old, and I'm amazed not only by their speed, but by the poise and the level of concentration they have out there while competing. They don't look like 7 and 8 year olds.
Looks like Joshua Tara and Alan Wu are non-starts. Again, this distance obviously a sprint, so we know they're going to go all out, so no need to worry about any dilly-dallying out of this group and trying to advance into the A final.
I mean, look at that. They're cool as cucumbers out there right now. You wouldn't think they're on the line for a race up. We've got a late addition. Looks like somebody was getting ready, so they held the start.
I believe that's Joshua Tara. And they're off. Getting to the corner first, Benjamin Sullivan. Then Chandani in second. In third, Kale DeVerde in fourth. Joshua Tara, 1 lap to go. It's amazing the gaps they can open up in just 1 lap. Down goes DeVerde. Joshua Tara going to get in third place.
Yeah, at this age, it's very easy to get a wide disparity in speed just based on skill development. For example, if you can master the crossover and be able to balance and push with some power, it opens up a tremendous gap. And then, of course, later in the season or the next season, your competition develops the same skill and it evens up again.
In the second heat, we've got Aiden Liu, Samir Ochik, Hudson Peck, and Casey Kang. The other thing you need to kind of consider when you're looking at this age group is these kids could also be growing 2 to 3 inches during the season as well. So it's going to be a little more interesting near the end of the season. They might suddenly just have something click for them in the middle, and next thing you know, they could be right up on the tails of the top guys in their age class.
Absolutely. That's why patience is so important. You don't want to get discouraged at this age. You just want to keep putting in the time and working and having fun with it. And things like skill development and physical growth will come. And then all of a sudden you'll find yourself, right at the head of the pack.
And they're off and able to get into that leading position is Outchick. But trying to pass back on the inside is Aiden Liu. And Aiden Liu with the inside pass in the far straightaway. Coming around, they got 1 lap to go. 2 blocks kicked in the far corner. And Aiden Liu with a straightaway lead already on Outchick. Outchick trying to get into the line quickly here, maybe move on based on time. Down goes, I believe that was Hudson Peck. Casey Kang ended up finishing in third.
Yeah, that was an interesting start by Aiden Liu. It looked like he hesitated just a little bit, but then he poured it on, turned on the afterburners, and within half a lap, he was accelerating and didn't look back and opened up a huge gap.
Now we move on to the Junior F girls. We've got another 2-2-2, 2 heats. We've got Serena Sheen, Addison Hartman, Lauren Lee, Azria Morelli, and Avery Dunham. And a penalty in the last race as Outchick was called off track.
That's a fancy way of saying they skated inside the blocks.
Off the start, it's Sheen jumping out to the lead. Lauren Lee in that second place position got a lot of ground to make up on Sheen as Sheen was able to open up a big gap early. 1 lap to go. In third right now, it's Addison Hartman. In fourth, Morelli in fifth, Dunham. And Sheen finishing first, Lee in second. Lee looking to qualify on time in that A final. Still got 1 more heat to go after we get our last 2 finishers here.
And again, these young ladies are just 7 and 8 years old and doing a fantastic job. A lot of kids just struggle with being able to stand on skates, or
a lot of parents struggle just being able to stand on skates.
Actually, that's a good point. You know, sometimes parents don't always understand why their kid is, not up there in first, and the parents learn very fast if they get out there on the ice just how tough this is, and these kids really make it look way too easy. But what they're doing is just phenomenal, again, especially at this young age of 7, 8 years old.
In the second heat, we've got Ariel Chun, Olympia Kazanecki, Sophia Coons, and Isla Mason. Again, top finisher in the next 3 fastest, moving on into the A final. And a false start looked to be on Ariel Chun. She just moved a quarter of a second too soon. Again, it'll be charged to the group. Next false start results in a penalty, which is being disqualified.
And these short races, half a step can cause you to lose the start. So every skater is on edge, trying to go as soon as they hear the gun. And sometimes they just go a little too quick.
Ariel Chun able to get the start right that time, though, as she jumps out into the early lead. In second is Olympia Kazanecka.
Followed by 88 Kaznecka. Second place.
I believe that is Coons in third, Mason in fourth, as they're coming around to the final corner. As Ariel Chun will be guaranteeing her spot in the A final. And a race for third between Coons and Mason. Looked like Coons still able to edge Mason out at the line. Now we go on to the novice boys 6 and under 222. One heat, all will advance through to in the A final. We've got Lucas Wu, Ethan Lynn, Cameron Tara, Milo Ventura, Hayden Peck, and Jonathan Wu. And it's Lucas Wu into the early lead. And they're having them stop. Looks like Jonathan Wu didn't get off the start line.
Not sure, Gordon, if he was holding his eye or if he's got an equipment problem of some sort, but he obviously could not skate at that point, and so the officials, in the interest of safety and making sure the skater gets the proper attention, stopped the race and called the remaining skaters back to the line.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We had 2 Jonathan Wus on the sheet before, so I'm not sure if we lost one or if it was a typo, but I know one of them went down in their last race pretty hard. Lucas Wu able to get the start right a second time, jumping on the first place. Ethan Lynn trying to chase him down.
44 Wu in the lead, followed by 113 Lynn.
Hard to tell who's in the third place spot right now. 1 lap to go. Skater down in the far corner.
62 Peck in third place.
And then Hayden Peck in third. This will be Cameron Tara in fourth. Lucas Wu finishing in first. Ethan Lynn second, finishing third. Hayden Peck. Still have 2 skaters on the track. As at the finish, that was Cameron Tara. And now they're bringing Milo Ventura to the line.
These are the youngest skaters at this competition, being age 6 or under, which means they could be even 3 or 4 or 5 years old. Typically, kids will start between the ages of 7 and 10. Some are a little older. Some come from other ice sports like hockey or other skating sports like inline. But you will get kids who start at the younger ages of 2, 3, 4 if their siblings are involved in the sport, and they just watch their siblings and decide, I want to be like my older brother or sister, and they get out there and they do amazing things at this young age.
This is a novice girls 6 and under 222. We've got Madeline Coons and Bryn DeVerde. And DeVerde going to take the early lead into the corner. Shuffling along is Coons. Coons shuffling on the far straightaway, trying to close the gap with DeVerde. And unfortunately, it looked like Coons went off track. 1 lap to go.
Yeah, you see the determination and competitiveness here, and sometimes you just don't do it intentionally, but you just want to get to the front as quickly as possible.
And now we're going to have 2 skaters off track, but they're both going to advance through into the A final anyway. We'll see if the officials actually call it. They might not.
We're doing an ice cut. We're going to resume in approximately 10 minutes.
We're going to do an ice cut here. We'll come back starting with the finals for the Heartland men 1,000 meter. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes, maybe 20 if they decide to do a longer ice cut. So we'll be back. Welcome back, folks. We're about to get underway with our second set of finals for the day. Got the Heartland Men 1,000 meter A final with Andrew Kim, Sean Kim, Richard Alec Anglin, Clayton D. Clement, Chi-Wan Zhang, and Alex Skutovsky. Get maximum points on the line. That will carry over into the rest of the racing series for the season.
So as it stands right now, Gordon Zhang, who goes by the name Albert, is in first position after the 777, followed by Andrew Kim and Richard Anglin, with Alex Slutovsky in fourth.
And a false start. Little twitchy for the 1,000. I think we're about to see an all-out sprint, which you don't typically get in the heats.
Yeah, the 777 was a really good time. They did 112 for the final. So that's an indicator that they're going to come out dueling from the gun here.
Sean Kim leading the way. Andrew Kim in second.
90, Andrew Kim in second place.
Zhang in third. In fourth is Anglin. Moving up on the inside, I believe that was D. Clement.
You've got a little time in the 1,000, but like you mentioned before, you don't want to wait too long to make your move because...
And here it comes from Zhang around the outside, able to get around both Kims.
Right on
and here's
cue.
a move on the inside from Anglin. Anglin up into the third spot. Zhang up into first. Sitting in second is Andrew Kim. Sean Kim in fourth. Two skaters touch at the back, and they scrub off most of their speed. Going to be tough to get back on. There goes Sean Kim up in a third-place spot with the pass in the corner. Zhang trying to hold off Andrew Kim.
Zhang made a well-timed and well-executed move to take first position. Now let's see if he can hold on to it.
One lap to go. Kim's going to have to try to set something up for the final corner. See if he tries to cut inside with the dig for the line. And he just stands up. So it's going to be Zhang, Andrew Kim, Sean Kim, Richard Anglin, and then Skutovsky and D. Clement.
Heartland Open Men 1,000 meter B final. 72, Matt Grudensky.
Now for the B final, we have Matan Grudensky, Matthew Crovella, George Wheelock, Henry Middlebrook, and Raphael Howe.
And the B final is very important. You can earn points. Of course, the points get lower and lower the further down you get in your final, and you're not going to crack the top level with a B final win, but over 4 races, they do add up, and sometimes finishing one place higher in this final may mean that you finish 1 or 2 places higher for the whole meet overall.
And they're off. And from the 4th spot on the line, Henry Middlebrook able to jump out into the lead. Not an easy task to do. And he's going to force the issue early as he's making him go full gas.
If he can open up a gap, he basically puts the pressure on the second place skater to pull the rest of the pack. And he's not going to be getting a draft to help him. So Middlebrook's strategy could work really well here if he can maintain that gap.
Middlebrook trying to keep ahead of Raphael Howell in second. In third is Matthew Crovella. Middlebrook not really gaining any more ground, but he isn't losing any right now.
He just has to maintain that gap at this point. And it's going to be really difficult for anybody to cross it.
Still a tough ask, though, to lead 1,000 from wire to wire, being about 10 meters in front of the rest of the pack.
Absolutely. Now the third place, fourth place skaters will be catching a draft here off second, but they're also going to have to work to pass, which is going to burn some energy.
And there was a pass up there on the inside, nicely executed by George Wheelock, able to get up in the third place spot. And right now, Raphael Howell was not getting that draft. Looks pretty gassed as Wheelock's right on him. 1 lap to go. Middlebrook's going to be free to fly. It's going to be a battle for second, and Wheelock's trying to get Howell. Move coming on the inside as Crovella wants to get in on the action. Goes inside on Wheelock. A little bit of an unstable pass. So it's Howell, Crovella, Wheelock with Grodensky as your 4 through 5, with Henry Middlebrook pulling the coup off the start, able to lead it the whole way.
Yeah, Crovella made himself as small as possible, and he really had to, too, to avoid making contact and possibly drawing a penalty. But he executed. I think that's going to be, they're talking about it, but I think he's going to be okay.
And now for the Heartland Ladies A final, we've got Haley Choi, Shreya Arun, Renee Miller, Stephanie Velez, Una Wilhoit, and Claire Liu. Another thing to consider here is because this is a racing series, this isn't like a season finale. You don't want to draw a penalty trying to go for those type of pass moves that might be a little questionable because you're trying to build your points base up. Granted, it was in the B final, so going for the higher points might be a better reward. But if you're seeing that in the A final, you might be a little bit more reserved if you're caring about your final points at the end of the season.
Right. No, absolutely. It's all about skating smart and looking at how do you get to your end goal. And you do want to put some points in the bank versus, burning those points at the potential for maybe just moving up 1 place, maybe 2, versus losing everything. So absolutely, Gordon, that's a great point.
And it's a clean start from the ladies as Choi and Arun are going to be our 1-2 off the start. Stephanie Velez in third. I think we'll see Choi just try to get away from everybody else and get in a comfortable tempo, but Arun not letting her go. Choi's going to have to shake her off. She wants to just settle in by herself in front. Rest of the pack going to have to try to move on each other. They want to get up in that third place spot. Big points still available as this is an A final.
Yep, and Choi is our winner of the 777, so she's the points leader. Arun can move up, though, quite a bit. She was 6th in the 777.
I was going to say, didn't Arun get penalized in the final for the 777?
I believe so.
I was going to say, wouldn't that equal no points?
No, actually, she will get last place points for that race.
It's a movement in the back of the pack with a pass up on the inside. There goes Stephanie Velez. Really getting passed back on the inside. Looked to be by Claire Liu. And Renee Miller now trying to shake things up. She's up into the 4th spot. And Haley Choi looks like she's finally popped Arun off her back.
It's quite a dogfight, though, going on for 3rd right now.
It's an absolute battle between Liu and Miller. 1 lap to go. Miller trying to take that wide line around. They're going into the final corner. And Miller with a brilliant pass entering the corner. We talked about her tactical brilliance in the heat, able to get herself into the A final by jumping out early. And it pays off here as she gets 3rd place points.
Yeah, that was a great move. It was totally gut check time. And she went all in, and she committed, and it paid off for her in the end. but she made it look easy. Those kind of moves are not a given. You not only need the speed, but you have to mentally commit to that move to make it work, and she did.
Now for the B final, we've got Catherine Vandegrift, Sharon Lokesh, Maura Zimmer, Carly Elliott, and Cece Long. There's still some points available, not as many as the A final.
Like you said before, Gordon, every point's important, and if you can accumulate as many as possible, the Heartland Series will take the points from your 3 best finishes at 3 of the 5 meets in the series, and that will go towards your overall series standing.
If you take a look at the schedule, you've got 2 Heartland meets coming up next weekend on back-to-back days in Milwaukee and in Chicago.
Yep, it's a big weekend for points, and there'll be some great racing.
So you have a penalty for impeding. That was, I believe they said 224, which would be Stephanie Velez. Jumping out the early lead, it's Catherine Vandegrift.
223, Vandegrift off to an early lead. 62, following
And then Carly Elliott in second. Sitting in third right now is Sharon Lokesh. Cece Long in fourth. And Zimmer in fifth. Slower going out from this group. They're going to play a little bit of tic-tac. We'll probably see this develop more with about 3 laps to go.
Yeah, this is turning into more of a tactical race, and you will see the skaters all trying to gain an advantage from drafting behind the skater in front of them, and that can result in the savings of anywhere from 15 to 30% in your energy outlay, which can be significant over 1,000 meters.
A little bit of acceleration from the pack, trying to break Zimmer and Long off the back. Pass trying to go through on the inside for Lokesh. She's able to push out Carly Elliott. Vandegrift, though, getting away off the front.
Yeah, and that last move by Lokesh, it sent the referees scribbling in their notebooks, and that's never a good sign.
Vandegrift still leading with a sizable advantage, but not really gaining any more ground. 1 lap to go. She should be in comfortably with the lead. Lokesh trying to keep ahead of Carly Elliott, but as you said, referees were scribbling something down from that pass from Lokesh as she finished second. We could possibly see Carly Elliott getting moved up into that second place spot for the B final.
Yep, and they're conferring right now at center ice, and they're each comparing what they saw, and the chief referee will be the one to take all that information in and make a final decision. And that's our chief referee, Bob Halden, who's heading over now to the announcer's booth, where he'll report any disqualifications if they were made.
I think that the fact that he's over there shows that there is a disqualification. Now we've got the junior AB men combined 1,000-meter A final featuring Nathaniel Casson, Joseph Hatcham, Hira Hansen, Christian Ladegard, Kenneth Lim, and Clyde Gill.
This should be a good race too. This group is very competitive, and they're just a notch below the Heartland Series in terms of performance. Many of them will soon be in the hunt at the next Heartland meet. they're very close to that qualifying time range.
Nathaniel Casson getting the early lead. Slotting in behind in that second place spot is Hira Hansen. I think that was Hatcham in the third place spot. And it is. Not an outright sprint, but a high tempo from the beginning, trying to just pull a few skaters off the back of the pack. And some shifting. There goes Joseph Hatcham up on the inside in the second spot. Who's got the two skaters from United Capital Blades in the 1-2 spot. Daniel Casson pulling the train at the front. They're starting to put a gap in between themselves and Hira Hansen.
Yeah, Hansen's fighting back to try to keep that gap from forming. We'll see if he's going to be successful or not.
And it looks like Christian Ladegaard's had enough of Hansen. He's going to try to bridge the gap by himself.
Bucking the trend here at this meet, there's 3 UCB skaters. It's United Capital Blades here in this particular final.
1 lap to go. Casson is still holding on the lead. Hatcham in close behind. Ladegaard just not going to have enough real estate to close in the gap. And they'll finish 1, 2, 3 with Hira Hansen finishing in 4th. It looked like Kenneth Lim finishing in 5th and Clyde Gill in 6th.
UCB did a good job of sealing the deal there with a 1-2 finish. They're looking strong. They're one of the dominant clubs, and it's good to see that they're reloading. They saw 2 skaters just this season move away. Gabriella Hatcham is now training in Salt Lake and has been enjoying some success at the senior level. And Connor McDermott Mastoe is training with the ASC in Milwaukee, and he is aggressively pursuing long track this season after making the junior world team in long track by winning the mass start last year at junior long track championships.
Now we've got the AB men combined B final. We've got Jacob Stainbrook, Gavin Hall, and Isaac Turkstra. And some would call the mass start in long track just like short track pack style, but in all honesty, it's more like a NASCAR race than anything else because they put so many on the line.
It is. It opens up a lot more strategic possibilities and options. But if you can race short track, it's a form of pack style, and it really, as Connor showed, prepares you very well for the transition to long track because it gives you the experience on how to set up strategies, and then also on the tactics of drafting and passing and blocking.
It's Jacob Stainbrook out in front leading the way. In second is Isaac Turkstra, and in third is Gavin Hall. Stainbrook comfortably in front. Looks like about a straightaway gap in between all the skaters. And speaking of Connor, not the first short tracker to make that transition. We saw as Francesca Bell, also known as a short tracker, made the junior world team last year in the long track. And we've even seen skaters at the senior level make the transition after their junior years were over, like Ian Quinn.
Yep, no, that's very true. Short track is great because it not only allows you to train close to home. It's tough to do that in long track because there's only so many ovals in the country, but through short track you can train close to home for a long time. So in addition to teaching you strategy and tactics of pack racing, it just makes speed skating more accessible and allows you to develop as a speed skater. And then eventually, if you find that long track is more to your liking or just suits your physiology or psychology better, it becomes an easier transition if you've had some short track pack race training.
108, Samantha Leventis, 56.
Now we're with the Junior B Women 1,000 meter A final. We've got Ava Fradlin Ryan, Samantha Leventis, and Sarah Crovella. I'll have to see if Fradlin Ryan just jumps off the group early, or she's going to sit on Leventis and Crovella and let them do a little bit of the pacemaking work to get some of the meters off this 1,000 meter.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the racing develops in these different divisions as the meet goes on. Usually the first race, you're trying to learn the ice, get a feel for the ice, learn your competition, get a feel for them, and then as the race unfolds, you put that knowledge to use, and it helps you develop and or adjust your strategies as the competition moves on.
I think Ava Fradlin Ryan might be chasing a time here in the 1,000 as she was wasting no time to get off out in front and into her tempo. It looks like she could be trying to chase a qualifying time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. She's got clear ice ahead of her. She can open it up and basically time trial it. And if she's going for a time, we wish her luck.
Well, it's Fradlin Ryan leading the way, Samantha Leventis in second, Sarah Crovella in third. And again, Fradlin Ryan not really settling. We see a lot of the skaters get out in front. If they're not chasing a time, they'll typically put two hands up on their back and they'll just coast the rest of the way. But she's putting in a real effort here, so she must be chasing a time. Which time it is exactly, we don't know right now. But she's definitely making a good case for it right now. And one lap to go for Fradlin Ryan. She's going to take the wide line to get around Crovella.
That was a good move. No hesitation. She just stayed wide, kept the fastest track, and blew right by. So she put in a real strong performance skating wire to wire there.
And Samantha Leventis finishing, and now here comes Sarah Crovella.
405A, Junior C Men, 1,000 meter A final. 99.
Now we've got the Junior C Men 1,000 meter A final with Sungmin Kwan, Ryan Hack, Mark Gonzalez, Julian Kyle McKeurig, Noah Troutt, and Tyler McGillen.
The ice crew out there has been doing a super job, and the ice at this facility tends to be on the faster side. So anybody who's going for a time here at this competition should have pretty good conditions.
And they're off in Sungmin Kwan, wasting no time. Ryan Hack trying to jump on his coattails. Does not want to let Kwan get away. I believe that's Mark Gonzalez in the third place spot, trying to bridge the gap. Closing in behind him is Julian Kyle McKeurig, with Troutt and McGillen coming up with the rear. Kwan settling into a rhythm now. We've got our leading pack of four as McKeurig's trying to hang on to the back of Gonzalez. Gonzalez into the slipstream of Ryan Hack. And a kicked block by Gonzalez, scrubbed off a little bit of speed. But no panic out of him. He's still trying to nail that gap back that opened up just from that block kick. See if Ryan Hack tries to pull something off on Kwan, but Kwan feeling it's time to open up the throttle and just put some distance between himself and Hack.
Yeah, it's amazing, Gordon, how one little bobble or one kick block can just cause you to lose so much speed through loss of focus or trying to reclaim your balance. This sport, which is skated on a blade a millimeter wide, is literally a sport of millimeters.
And Gonzalez trying to close in on Ryan Hack. Here they come through the final corner. It's a dig for the line. And I believe it'll still be Hack, but between Gonzalez and McKeurig, it was hard to tell. I'm not sure if McKeurig may have gone a little too far inside. Ooh, and both skaters go down after the finish line. As that was Troutt and McGillen.
That's a good observation, Gordon. I was just about to mention that McKeurig, in an effort to pass on the inside coming out of the final corner, cut very far into the middle of the rink. And you can cut in as far as you want on any other lap except for the last lap at the finish. And on the last lap, you must stay within 1.5 meters of the line between blocks 7 and 1 of the straightaway. So he came very, very close. It'll be interesting to see if they saw anything there that they could call. If you don't finish within that distance of the inside line of the straightaway, you can get penalized.
Now for the B final, we've got Gannon Graff, Sean Lippa, Alessandro Topa, Ryan Shane, Ethan Turkstra, and Owen Byrne. It looked to be clean through the first corner as it looks to be Sean Lippa leading the way.
Lippa skating for the hometown team here, our host, the Buffalo Speedskating Club.
Move on the inside is Gannon Graff moves up a little bit of a faster final here than the A final. Sitting in third place right now is Ryan Shane, and down goes Gannon Graff. Lippa leading the way. Ryan Shane in second. In third is Topa. Got our leading pack of 3. And trying to go around the outside is Topa. And he almost doubles, and who ends up going down is, I believe that was Ryan Shane. Still Sean Lippa leading the way. Topa trying to set up a move on Lippa. It's going to get a little bit messy here as they're starting to sweep up the back of the pack. And there goes Topa on the outside, able to get around Lippa. And 2 kick blocks for Lippa. That'll probably scrub off most of the speed he would have needed. 1 lap to go. Topa leading the way. And Lippa is not going to catch him, but I think there might be a review coming on that pass that Topa had. Lippa finishing in second. Skaters on the track, so they need to cut into the inside out of harm's way. I'm not quite sure who is where on the track right now.
Yeah, with multiple falls, it really challenges the judges and the lap counters here to keep things straight.
I think there was Turkstra finishing in third with Ryan Shane in fourth, but we'll have to see what they do. And we do have the heads of state coming together at center ice.
It may take them a minute. They have a lot to discuss after that race. It was a hard-fought, action-packed battle. Numerous skirmishes. This is a contact sport. Bumping and jostling. is part of the game. Sometimes it gets carried away. All accidentally, of course. And when there's contact that impedes another skater or causes them to go down.
And Topa penalized for impeding, so Sean Limpa is going to be the winner out of that B final. Up next, we've got the Junior C Ladies A final for the 1,000, starting with Cuban O, Haley Murray, Catherine Liu, Kayla Gonzalez, Isabel Crovella, and Sarah Solvucci. And it looked like Cubano was going to try to take the lead off the start, but then slows up and lets Haley Murray take that leading position. Looks like we're going to have a slow start here, but Cubano in good position in that second place spot and making Murray do the pacemaking off the front. The move coming here on the inside is going through was Isabel Crovella. Moving Murray into second, O into third. Move coming from the back of the pack as slotting into third was Catherine Liu. Doesn't want to get too far back in the pack in case there's a split.
Well, and not only that, but if you get too far back, you have to spend way too much energy passing too many people in front of you to have a chance to get into the lead. Easier to pass now like she just did early in the race when the pace has not picked up yet and the pack is in a line.
Catherine Liu went around, got into first. Murray passing up on the inside, getting back into second. Cuban O sitting on Murray's tail. And we got our leading pack of three. Trying to close down the gap is Kayla Gonzalez. And Cuban O sliding up that second place spot. Looks to be very tactical, very direct in what she's doing. And Gonzalez able to make the junction, able to get on the tail of Murray.
Yep, she's right back in it. She might have had to spend a lot of energy, though, just to close that gap.
And we're on the final lap. Here goes O, trying to go on the inside. Going to have to reset, try to lock something up for the exit of this corner as they go inside. And it looked to be Catherine Liu, and Murray might have crossed in front of O because O took the inside line. Murray went outside where there was some more room. It looked like she carried more speed.
Yeah, what a great finish. And that was a great strategy there by the skater passing on the outside. Very often when a skater is trying to set up a pass, you'll create a situation where the skater being passed focuses too much on that skater and opens up an opportunity for you.
Now in the B final for the C Ladies, we've got Emily Wood, Penelope Romanelli, and Mina Rose. It doesn't look like we have a gathering of the refs, so standings out of that last race should stay. It was a little close again for second and third, but from this vantage point, it looked like Haley Murray pulled off a great last move, able to get into that second place spot and get some more points for herself. Leading through the first corner is Emily Wood. In second is Penelope Romanelli. In third is Mina Rose. And a counter pass coming from Romanelli, getting back on the inside of Rose, back in that second place spot. This could be a very closely contested final. It looked like Romanelli almost had her blade kicked, able to keep her balance and stay on her feet.
Yeah, hopefully there's no damage to her blade. Sometimes when you make contact like that or step on a block, it can strip the edge and create like a dull spot, anywhere from a small nick, like 1/8 of an inch, to a spot that can be 2 to 3 inches long.
I've got some shouldering between Romanelli and Rose, and they both go down on the exit of that corner. It's going to be a scramble to get up and get going first. It's hard to put energy back into building up speed, but it looked like Romanelli able to get up quickly and get going again. Right now, Emily Woods free to fly to the finish. Just needs to stay on her feet as well.
Yeah, both skaters did a great job there of getting back on their feet and back into the race. That is probably the single most difficult thing to do in speed skating, is to get back up after you've hit the ice, and you have to collect yourself again and get your legs under you and your head back in it.
Especially if you take a bath through the water.
Oh, gosh, yes.
It's an absolute shock to the system. Until you've experienced it, you really don't know what it feels like to be in spandex that's freezing cold and wet.
Sounds like you've had some experience, Gordon.
Oh, I have. I definitely have. I think you have too.
Nope.
So Emily Wood, your first place finisher in the B final. Here comes Penelope Romanelli, and then it'll be Mina Rose. We'll have to see if they gather, and it looks like they're going to discuss it at center ice.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough call. Coming out of that corner, there was contact. Sometimes they just say it was inadvertent. Other times, skater will have made contact without being in position, and they will call. Yep, they called impeding.
Did you catch the number on that?
178.
Got 168. That would be Mina Rose if it's the 8. Up next, we've got the Master Men and Women 1,000-meter combined A final with Tim Van Fleet, Joseph Balbo, Henry Withers, Nicole Zayats, and Jen Cola. I think we'll probably see Tim Van Fleet try to take a flyer off the front with a blocking battle between Joseph Balbo and Henry Withers.
Yeah, Van Fleet has been looking very strong and very smooth and very technically sound here this weekend.
It's going to be Van Fleet, Balbo, and Withers as your 1, 2, 3. Balbo trying to jump on the back of Fleet.
Yeah, Balbo is an experienced, crafty pack skater, but Van Fleet is just putting down too much power for him right now. I think I saw a little glimmer of hope and desire in Balbo's eyes to latch on, but Van Fleet just says no thank you.
It's going to be Withers and Balbo locked in a battle here for second. And Balbo really accelerating out of the corners, trying to keep Withers at bay, but just doesn't have enough speed to keep him behind him as Withers moves up on the outside. Looks like a slip by Zayats in the far corner. Able to stay on her feet. Balbo valiantly trying to chase down Withers.
Yeah, unlike in the last race when these two battled, Withers this time said, I'm not going to try to duel Balbo down to the very end. I'm going to try to get out in front and create some space because Balbo is just too experienced in the tactics and strategies of pack racing and was able to hold them off last time.
1 lap to go for Van Fleet. And 1 lap for Withers and Balbo. Here comes Van Fleet up to the finish behind Zayat.
Skaters on the track.
As Withers comes around the final corner, able to comfortably stand up, or maybe not so comfortably after 1,000 meters.
Skaters on the track.
And just waiting for Jen Cole to finish up her last lap and cross the line.
Yeah, it's amazing how much these skaters suffer, but they don't look like they're suffering until they cross the line. And then they kind of let their hair down, and you really see just how much they're putting into their racing.
Although there were some cases where we saw some imitators who would do something like a lap or half a lap, and next thing you know, their hands are on their knees and they're looking like they're breathing about as heavy as an asthmatic who just is. And so, you know, but here after 1,000, I'd believe him with that body language. So we're going to take a break for an ice cut. We'll be back and we'll get through the last of the finals for the day. We're going to take about a 10-minute break here, so we'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to get in our last set of finals for the day. We're going to be starting with the Junior D men. This is the 500-meter A final with Christian Kim, Justin Liu, Jing Kai-yen, Xavier Lawrence, and Carl Titelli. And they're off, and it's a fast start through the corner. Leading the way is Christian Kim. In second is Justin Liu. In third, I believe that was Jing Kai-yen. In fourth is Carl Titelli. In fifth is Xavier Lawrence. It's a real tight race between Kim and Liu. And a nice move up the inside by Liu before the corner. 1 lap to go. Kim almost losing his balance. Going around the final corner. It's going to be Justin Liu. It's going to be a dig for the line between Kim and Jing Kai, and they touch blades. And I think Jing Kai outstretched Kim just barely on the line, finishing in fourth. Looked to be Carl Titelli, and in fifth, Xavier Lawrence.
Yeah, very exciting race. These skaters in this age class are 11 and 12 years old, and that is as of July 1st, the previous July 1st. And showing some great speed here at a pretty young age.
Now for the B final, we've got Nicholas Klutowski, Matthew Freitag, Aaron Liu, Alexander Lim, Pascual Morales. And they're off, and getting out in front was Matthew Freitag. In second is Nicholas Klutowski. And from third to fifth, you got a train of Garden Staters. Got Liu in third. In fourth is Morales. In fifth is Lim. Klutowski trying to go for the inside move. Able to get the pass around Freitag as he took the wide line. Liu trying to chase down the two leaders. 1 lap to go. Klutowski trying to hold off the field. Liu is probably not going to have enough room to make it up. Freitag's probably going to finish second here as they come around the final corner. As it's Klutowski, Freitag, Liu, Morales, Lim. Next, we have the C final. We've got Sammy Hart-Gorman, Rory O'Brien, Cameron Mason, Chirag Chandani, and Andrew Lenkong.
And this is one of our largest age categories in terms of total numbers at the meet here. Again, these Junior D skaters are 11 and 12 years old as of July 1 of 2017.
They get off the line, see if they get through the apex, which they do. One skater down behind, but it's a good start. Sammy Hart-Gorman in the lead. Cameron Mason in second. Trying to move up on the inside is Rory O'Brien. Cannot make the pass go through. And it's Chan Nani in fourth. O'Brien able to get around in that second place spot. Trying to chase down Hart Gorman. Gorman with a bit of a cushion already. Might be too hard for O'Brien to close that gap back. 1 lap to go with Hart Gorman leading. Rory O'Brien safely in second. In third, Cameron Mason in fourth. Chirig Chanani. And Chanani's going to finish in fourth, and unable to get around Cameron Mason. And here comes Andrew Langkong.
That was a well-executed pass by O'Brien there to get into second place.
Let's see, next we have the D final for the Junior D boys. We've got Alex Wood, Clive Wright, Charlie Putnam, Gabriel Hasselback, and Jack Vandenberg.
241, Alex Wood. 243, Clive Wright. 164, Charlie Putnam. 81, Gabriel Hasselback. 221, Jack Vandenberg.
Clean start for the D final. Leading the way is Alex Wood. In second is Clive Wright. Some movement as going on the inside was Gabriel Hasselback, able to go from fourth to second. Sitting in the third spot right now is Charlie Putnam. Tight race here for the D final. Alex Wood unable to pull away from Hasselback. 1 lap to go. Here comes a move on the inside. As trying to muscle his way through was Putnam, unable to get around Hasselback. Hasselback's got the final corner here to try to get around, but unable to, as it's going to be Wood, Hasselback, and Wright as your 1, 2, 3. Now for the E final.
409E, Junior D, boys, 500 meter E.
We've got Jimmy Kang, Justin Liu, Jack Housen, Ishan Dixit, and Mitchell Wilson. This will be the last final for the boys, and we'll have the girls. And they're away clean on the E final. Is Jimmy Kang leading the way with Jack Housen in second. I think that was Justin Liu in third, and it is in fourth is Dixit. In fifth is Wilson. Housen trying to get close enough to Kang to get a setup for a pass going.
Looks like Kang is skating a pretty wide exit. Skating a wide exit narrow entry track, which is a normal track, except you don't want to leave the door that quite wide open with somebody as close behind you as he has.
You're coming around the final corner, and almost going down was Jack Housen, able to keep on his feet as Kang finished first, Housen second, in third, Liu in fourth, Dixit in fifth, Wilson. As that'll do it for the Junior D boys for today. Now we go on to the Junior D girls in their 500-meter final. We've got Charisse Gratton, Caroline Anderson, Sarah Murray, and Louisiana Stahl.
In that last race, Kang was able to keep his speed up, and that track is designed to be a cruising track where you can sustain your speed. But if the skater in second had any kind of acceleration and was feeling strong enough at that point in the race to attempt an acceleration, he was pretty vulnerable to a pass on the inside. But fortunately for him, he was able to keep the cruising speed high enough and not allow that to occur.
And the D ladies are off. Looks like Charisse Gratton jumping out in the early lead. In second is Anderson. In third is Stahl. In fourth is Murray. 3 laps to go. Got a battle at the front, a battle at the back. As Stahl's going to try to hold off Murray. And Anderson trying to catch up to Gratton.
Stahl is looking strong and still building. You can see she's taking 2 in.
1 lap to go. As the field is pretty spread apart now. Shouldn't be any drama coming through the final corner as Charisse Gratton's going to win the final. Carolyn Anderson finishing in second, Louisiana Stahl in third, and Sarah Murray in fourth.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I miscalled Stahl for Gratton. Gratton skated a great race, leading wire to wire and building all the way.
Next up, we have the Junior E-Boys 333A final. Got Julius Kazanecki, Zubin Kumar, Alden Taylor, Peter Grosclose, and San Shui. Should be a good 3-lap battle here out of the Junior E-Boys.
Our Junior E skaters are ages 9 and 10 as of July 1, 2017.
And jumping out into the early lead is Aiden Taylor. In second is Peter Grosclose. Looks like Julius Kazanecki's in third. Zubin Kumar in fourth, and in fifth is San Shui. Coming up to the bell lap. Pretty close group of 4 here. Looks like Grosclose trying to make a move, or sorry, that's Kazanecki was trying to make a move on the outside. Backfires on him. He starts sliding back down the ranks. Aiden Taylor trying to lead it from wire to wire. Able to get it, and then it was too close to call between Kazanecki and Grosclose.
Taylor skated a nice race. With these shorter races, they may seem easier because they're not as grueling, but things happen so fast, and if you make one slip or one little mistake, everybody is right there and can pounce on you before you know it. So it takes a lot of nerve and just you got to be a real cool customer to execute like that, and he did a good job.
In the B final, we've got Ivan Roldan, Levchenko, Lucas Koo, Benjamin Horn, David Chun, and Jeffrey Liu. Jumping out to the early lead is Lucas Koo. In second is Levchenko. Levchenko not going to let Koo get away. Able to keep on his feet. In third right now is Benjamin Horn. Real battle here between the two, dueling off the front. Coming up to 1 lap to go. Levchenko having to keep his balance again. Might have lost too much speed trying to keep his recovery. But he comes around. They're going to have the final corner to go as Koo's trying to hold off Levchenko. Levchenko's going to try to go inside and dig for the line, but blocked off.
Koo had a real nice reaction to the gun and just got a half step on Levchenko. And I think Levchenko, that whole race, was just a little bit annoyed that he had the #1 position and didn't win the start. And he battled back, but Koo did a nice job of holding him off to the very end and leading wire to wire.
It looked like Levchenko's special is that inside move and just wasn't able to make it go through and might have to pick up at least an outside fake. Now we go to the C final for the Junior E boys with Jeremy Sapola, Anakin Morelli, Hanson Peck, Julian Kim, and Ethan Lamb. I believe this is our second largest age group on the weekend. So we've got 4 finals. This will be a good start. Jumping out in front is Anakin Morelli, able to get out there from that 2 spot, but with some speed coming up the outside. Ethan Lamb able to just ride the outside line. In second right now is Hanson Peck, and these two are going to duel it out there, well out in front. Able to keep their feet on the far corner. And then down goes Lamb. Hanson Peck free to fly on his own. Moving up into the second place spot, Jeremy Sapola, as he comes around the final corner, and he will not be caught as he'll finish in second. Finishing in third, Anakin Morelli. And it looked like Julian Kim got fourth and Ethan Lamb got fifth.
Yeah, it was unfortunate there for Lamb that he recovered from the initial contact with Peck, but then had a secondary bobble coming out and just wasn't able to stay on his feet. And looks like, yeah, there we go. The ref saw that and decided that that contact was not appropriate and penalized him for Peck for impeding. So it doesn't put Lamb into first, but at least it's some consolation.
Now for the D final, we've got Christopher Monahan, Brennan Graff, Owen Rogers, and Daniel O'Brien. And you're right, because it's a final, there's really nothing they can do.
You don't get a second chance, unfortunately, to improve your position if you do get taken out.
In a heat, Ethan Lamb would be advanced on into the what would either be a semi or the higher final. Leading the way, it's Brennan Graff trying to go wire to wire. Trying to reel him in, though, is Christopher Monahan. Coming around, they're going to have 1 lap to go. Graff's not going to have a whole lot of breathing room as here comes Christopher Monahan and Daniel O'Brien.
Some nice representation here by the Lakewood Club of Ohio. Head coach is Denny Marquard. Denny's a Hall of Famer, and he's got to be excited by seeing these young kids all here racing.
That'll do it for the Junior E boys. So now we move on to the Junior E girls. It's another 3-3-3. We've got Cindy Jang, Grace Chun, Michelle Yee, Salome Lokesh, and Selena Sue. This should be a good A final right here. Start very important in this race. Whoever gets to that first block first has the best chance to lead the way. And off the start, it's Grace Chun leading the way, able to get by Cindy Jang. Jang going to have to try to chase her down. Blocked off on the inside pass. Up into third position was Michelle Yee. Yee's going to try to improve up at least to that second place spot. Good fast pack here out of the ladies. 1 lap to go. And 2 skaters go down into the same pad. Grace Chun leading the way to the finish line. Looked like Salome Lokesh is going to finish in second. In third, Selena Sue. And Jang and Michelle Yee needing a little help getting up. They didn't fall on top of each other. More, they went into the pads back to back.
Yeah, that was a bit of a relief to see going down in such close quarters. Sometimes skaters get injured not by hitting the wall, but by contact with the other skater piling into them. So at least they avoided that. Hopefully she's avoided any kind of serious injury here. Just got a little shaken up.
She's being a little ginger with that left leg. It looked like they had to lift the mats to get it off her skate blade.
Yeah, sometimes the padding is not heavy enough to, and if you catch the blade just at the right angle, it can slide up underneath that pad, and when the rest of your body hits, it can cause the ankle or knee to twist. Again, it's a good sign that she's up, and hopefully she didn't sustain any serious injury there. Relatively speaking, speed skating and in general and short track in particular are fairly safe sports. You can see the padding around the rink. There are padding standards, and there's actually a double layer of padding extending from just the goal side of the blue line all the way through the corner. And the skaters themselves wear helmets. And they also wear the anklets that you could see that help cover any bare or exposed skin so that there are no ice burns or cuts. And again, they have to wear neck guards made out of cut-proof material, and every inch of their skin below their neck needs to be completely covered, again, to protect against cuts and ice burns. And that being said, it is a sport, and the skaters are flying around at speeds of 20 to 30 miles an hour, and things are bound to happen. But again, hopefully the risk of serious injury is minimized greatly by the safety equipment. at both the venue and at the skaters wear.
So not going to do a reskate of that event as the 3 girls in front did finish. And I'll go to the B final with Audrey Lenkong, Sydney Wong, Emma Lippa, Cassie Clark, and Zeta Gretzkowski. And jumping out to the lead, Audrey Lenkong. Sydney Wong in second. 2 blocks getting kicked in the far corner. In third is Cassie Clark, but going for the pass on the inside, Emma Lippa. Lippa can't get around Clark. 1 lap to go as Lenkong is clear of Wong, and they are both clear of the rest of the pack. Lippa trying to go for that inside pass again. It's going to be a foot race to get into that corner first. Lippa just able to get the pass through on Clark, and Clark not going to be able to pass her back. And here comes Gretkowski.
That was a nice move by Lippa. Again, one of our hometown skaters here from the Buffalo Speed Skating Club, our host.
412C, Junior E girls,
she really had to commit, and she did, and she willed herself to making it to the corner first and was able to hang on, carrying all that extra speed to skate a tight track and exit with her pass intact. So nice job, Emma.
Now onto the C final, where we've got Violet Nelson, Kira Lamb, and Morgan Tara. We're getting close to being done for the day. And they're off as Lamb able to get out in front, Nelson in second, Tara in third. Lamb going to try to push off the front and almost pushes a little too hard as she stumbles in the far corner, able to maintain her balance. You could definitely see Nelson was able to gain back some ground because of that stumble. Sometimes one of those stumbles will just knock you out of your rhythm, and you might not have lost really any speed from it at all, but just losing your rhythm is enough to cause you to start to fall back. 1 lap to go as Lamb's back in her groove, able to pull a little bit more ground away from Nelson. Here's Lamb at the finish, Nelson, and then Tara. And that'll do it for the Junior E girls as we go to the Junior F boys.
413A, Junior F, boys 222-meter A final. 189, Benjamin Sullivan.
The Junior F doing the 222 2-lap race A final. We got Benjamin Sullivan, Aiden Liu, Ariette Chan Nani, Casey Kang, and Joshua Tara.
And again, Gordon, these are the 7- and 8-year-olds. Although by watching them skate, you would guess that they have the skill and poise of much older athletes.
Sullivan leading the way out of the first corner. In second is Aiden Liu. He's going to try to chase down Sullivan as they're putting a gap on the rest of the field. 1 lap to go. Liu does not have a whole lot of real estate to work with here. He really needs to close down the gap before the corner, and it looks like Sullivan's just going to get away from him and stay away the rest of the way around. And a pass in the final corner as it looked like Chandani will finish in third, Kang in fourth, and Tara in fifth. Nice move by Chandani getting that move up into third place coming off the final corner.
413B, Junior F, boys 222-meter B final. final.
Next, we have the B final with
Kale DeVerde,
Kale DeVerde,
161,
Hudson Peck,
Hudson Peck,
and Samir
160,
Auchik.
Uchick.
And off the start, it's going to be Auchik out in front with DeVerde in second and Peck in third. Going to be 1 lap to go. Auchik going to try to hold off DeVerde. As they come around the final corner, it'll be Auchik, DeVerde, Peck finishing in that order. Now we go to the Junior F girls.
A Junior F girls 222 meter A final.
We've got the Junior F girls for their 222 A final. We've got Serena Sheen, Ariel Chun, Lauren Lee, Olympia Kazaneka, and Addison Hartman. And they're off and getting a good start with Serena Sheen. Ariel Chun into second, going to have to chase her down. Lauren Lee in third. Kazaneka in fourth and Hartman in fifth. 1 lap to go. Sheen does not look like she'll be caught, and Lee kicks a block in the near side corner. Might have killed off her chances of catching Chun, as it's going to be Sheen, Chun, Lee, Kazaneka, and Hartman for your finishing order.
Sheen looked really good. She comes from a club, Bay State, which has a history of producing outstanding skaters for decades and decades. They're one of the older clubs in the country.
I had a skater off track. I missed the number. Now for the Junior F girls B final, we've got Sophia Coons, Isla Mason, Azria Morelli, and Avery Dunham. And they're off. And down goes Mason, but
No
nobody
restart on that because there was no contact between the skaters that caused the fall and no impeding of the other skaters by the fallen skater.
Coons out in front, free to fly with 1 lap to go. Azria Morelli in second. Coming around is Isla Mason trying to catch Morelli. And then Dunham in fourth. It's going to be a dig for the line, and great recovery by Isla Mason to come back after that fall and get back into second place before the finish.
Yeah, she was flying. This distance doesn't give you a whole lot of time to pull something like that off, but she did it.
415A, novice boys 6 and under, 222 meter A final. 244.
Now the novice boys 6 and under 222 A final with Lucas Wu, Ethan Lynn, Hayden Peck, Cameron Tara, Milo Ventura, and Jonathan Wu. And I think Jonathan Wu might be a non-start.
37, DNS did not start.
And a false start from Hayden Peck, who can't wait to get off the line. They get away clean on the second try. It's Lucas Wu in front, Ethan Lynn in second. In third is Hayden Peck. In fourth, Cameron Tara in fifth, Milo Ventura. And down goes Hayden Peck on the far side. Up into third is going to be Cameron Tara. Lucas Wu out of the reach of Ethan Lynn, but they should finish 1-2. It's going to be a battle at the back of the pack. Cameron Tara looking over his shoulder. Needs to get on his horse and go in the right direction. He wants to finish third because coming up behind is Hayden Peck. And Hayden Peck making up a lot of ground as he gets within the blue line before Tara was able to finish. And the crowd giving an ovation for Milo Ventura.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's really something that these kids are so young and they're willing to go out there and lay it all on the line and in front of a group, and he's doing a great job. Once he masters the crossover, he's going to be right up there with the rest of that group.
And now for the novice girls 6 and under 222 with Madeline Coons and Bryn DeVerde. This will be our last race of the day. It's going to be DeVerde passing Coons on the outside. Should be a close race because I think Coons is going to have a little bit more shuffle in the straightaway, but DeVerde able to carry a little bit more speed through the corner. Coons going to try to shuffle along. 1 lap to go, about a meter between them.
This is a battle.
This is a battle of coasting efficiency right here through the corners.
Well, DeVerde has the power. Coons has a turnover. It's a classic battle.
Coons going to shuffle through the corners. He's going to make up some ground. Here they come, coming up to the line side by side. And oh, it's too close to call.
What a great way to end the day.
We're going to have to go to the photo finish, so we won't know who got first, who got second in that race. But, yeah, what a great way to finish the first day of racing here in Buffalo, New York.
With an exclamation point.
So we should be back here tomorrow at 8 a.m. start time to finish up racing for the weekend. I'm Gordon Cepuran here with Carl Cepuran with SpeediCast. We'll see you tomorrow morning, or you might be watching this later. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next time here on SpeediCast.